Today we have a very special guest in the studio to talk about Black actors in film history and in Hollywood and her upcoming doc for Black History Month. This is Talk Hollywood to Me. Hello everyone and welcome back to Talk Hollywood to Me, where I talk Hollywood to you. This is the first episode of the new semester. I hope everyone had a great winter break. Your semester's starting off great. Mine hasn't, but that's besides the point. I have something fun and interesting planned for the next episode because it's based off of a paper that I wrote for last semester, and the episode essentially wrote itself because of it. But today, we are welcoming to this episode our very first guest, as well as a very close friend of mine. I've known her and her brilliant mind since our freshman year when we met in Hollywood East. Please welcome to the show and to the mic a big future star in Hollywood, Tatyana Williams.
Oh, that's a nice intro. I feel like that's very, that kind of, it was a lot. But I appreciate it. Hello.
I'm speaking the truth.
Hi, I don't know. I guess I'm introducing myself. I'm Tatyana. I'm a junior at UNCW. I am film studies major. I minor in journalism, and I am very passionate about Black Hollywood. Also, I'm Black, just to verify. I keep remembering this is a podcast. I am Black as well as I identify as African American, Jamaican American.
Because it's Black History Month, I brought her on because of that, because I am not Black, and it would be a little weird for a white person to be talking about that for a whole episode, and it's not something that I experience on the regular, not seeing myself in movies and things like that.
Yeah, and we do these conversations like even outside of podcasts. Like we talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. Mostly me ranting just about the lack of representation in Hollywood, but this is not like an uncommon thing we do.
Oh no, we do talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
We've always talked about that.
So, Sierra asked me to bring some things. I did not prepare for this fully, but what I did do is Wikipedia the Black, everybody who was Black who won Oscars or was nominated for Oscars, and I thought it would be really cool to go through that because it's very interesting how little it is.
It's like you get the articles every time Academy Award season rolls out, and you're just like, and it's just, here's the history of it, and it's a short list.
Especially like this year, there's that Oscars so white conversation coming back up, and it makes you kind of just like think about a lot of things. There's a notion that Black people are only selected for either song or original song or best actor or actress, but it's usually for a role related to slavery or like the civil rights movement. There's not really a lot of roles that Black people, other minorities as a whole have been nominated for. So it's very interesting going into this award season, what has definitely been Best Picture, like, there's nothing. We got nothing this year. We got one actress. Cynthia, can't pronounce her last name.
Erebos,
yeah. She got it for Harriet, who was a slave. So we're doing great. It's been a great time. Okay.
Hattie McDaniel, I know, was the first.
Yes.
For Gone with the Wind, and that was Best Supporting Actress, and she wasn't allowed to attend the premiere of Gone with the Wind because this was 1939, 1940, Jim Crow South in Atlanta, and Clark Gable, I remember reading, was this close to just boycotting the whole thing and not going because they would not let her see the movie, and she eventually talked him out of it. And then even at the Oscars, she couldn't walk in through the front. She had to come in through the back and then couldn't sit with everyone else.
That's insane, but also it was 1939, so it makes sense.
Yeah, like 1940, so it was like standard.
Didn't they also have to fight for her to be in the actual ceremony, like the Oscar ceremony when she got nominated? And then she won, and they're all like, wait, what? And she was, like, all the way in the back, and they're like, oh, well, can you come forward? And it took her, like, 5 minutes.
It's like, this is going to take a minute.
She was placed all the way in the back because, wow, the word is blinking on me. Segregation was still a thing. Wow. Okay, I probably should remember that. Yeah, she was the first ever in any category. And that was in 1939, according to Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. I'm sorry I didn't donate to your campaign.
I am a broke college student. We are both broke college students, but we donated in spirit.
So, fun fact that I just found out. The only Black-directed animated film was nominated last year for Best Animated Film, and it was Spider-Man Into the Universe, and it won. That was the only one in its category. So that's very interesting. I mean, we're 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So,
everyone don't crucify me for this. I have yet to see it.
It's on Netflix.
I know it's on Netflix. I'm so bad at remembering to be like, oh, I need to watch this, but I'm going to. I know it's a great movie.
I mean, honestly, I'm the film major that does not watch movies. I haven't seen any of the Best Pictures, and the Oscars are Sunday. So I'm clearly not doing great in my major. Sierra, on the other hand, has a whole tub of DVDs that she continuously adds onto, so I can't.
Yeah, I updated that recently. I got Parasite on Blu-ray.
This is a random fun fact, but on Snapchat, a year ago was when we went to Best Buy just to, like, look around, I think, or, like, get something.
Yeah,
I think
Morgan was looking at the Macs because she was going to get the new laptop.
Because we were getting laptops, and Sierra went, I'll be right back. We get back, and Sierra has 10 movies. And she's like, I just went a little crazy, and I forgot how much you spent that day, but you ended up buying
$88, like $88, and then I told my dad, I lied to my dad, so Dad, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I said that I was buying a hard drive for the editing class that I had for Mariah's class, and then I covered up the next semester. I was like, hey, I have to buy this $40 thing. I got the wrong one. But I am now the proud owner of 119 movies.
And this collection will still continue.
Oh, it'll grow.
I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, so the fact you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Universe is very upsetting. But it's fine,
I'll
considering
watch it.
I haven't seen, like, 1917.
That one's
Parasite.
Really good.
Well, none of us seen Parasite.
Got it on DVD, though.
What's the other ones? Ford versus Ferrari, which...
That one kind of came out of nowhere. I haven't seen anything. Like, there was no promotion that I saw for it, and it's nominated for all this stuff.
Yeah, I just remember, like, the first ads of it, and then it, like, disappeared.
Yeah. Like, with Harriet, I didn't really see much about Harriet either.
I heard about Harriet, but that's mostly because it was more so in, like, the Black community and, like, Black Twitter were talking about it, and, like, there are a lot of mixed opinions about the movie as a whole. I just remember hearing, like, my mom liked it a lot. They took my little sister, who is 9, and that was kind of a mistake because there is some scenes she should not have seen. They covered her eyes, it's fine. But there was a conversation of, like, should we make... Because in the movie, I mean, spoiler alert, Harriet Tubman escapes. In the movie, they have mostly a Black guy, which was her husband being the villain, which was relatively true in some stances. He did, when she got back, she did find out he remarried, and she went back to get him, so that was awkward. But they made him more villainous than in real life, and that was a really big conversation of, like, should we make Black people villains in slave movies? Like, yes, there were times where, like, there were, like, sometimes, very rarely, Black slave owners or people who, like, worked with the people themselves, but, like, it was one of those sort of movies. I was very surprised when it got the Oscar nomination, but I also think it was because the Academy was just like, we don't have anybody of color in this category. There we go, Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman, perfect. Let's go.
Did you see that article that apparently, like, half the Academy voting members don't even watch all the movies?
Yeah, I remember seeing something where it was 17 Academy members haven't seen Parasite because they don't want to deal with the subtitles.
That's trash. Like, no. Like, you're in the Academy for a reason. There's this tweet. I don't know the person who tweeted this, so I can't give them the credit that they deserve. But it was like somebody who's like up in Hollywood, and they're like, why don't we give them a streaming link instead of a bunch of DVDs? And if they don't click on the streaming link and watch like a majority of it, then they are ineligible to vote.
Ooh, I like that.
And I felt like, I'm like, we have the technology to do it. The Academy has the money to make that happen. I think if you're in the Academy and you're not watching the movies that could be nominated, because so many movies, not even like, just like, so many movies got passed over this year.
Rocket Man.
Yeah, Rocket. Oh my God, I was so surprised with Rocket Man.
How did it not get best costuming?
But
I know this is a sidetrack, but
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Editing?
breezed through.
It's because Hollywood loves those tragic LGBT stories, and it's Elton John went through all of this stuff and survived, and it's just kind of like, and then Freddie Mercury dies because he has AIDS, and then suddenly it's this big thing and it sweeps everything, like Boys Don't Cry. Yeah. I'll do another episode on that, about Hollywood and how it loves the bury your gays trope. Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
That's something you can relate to well. As a straight woman, I can't relate to that. So
I was complaining about it to Morgan once about Rocket Man not getting nominated for a lot.
I mean, honestly, it should have got nominated for more. And like Elton John, like approved it. Like he did a good job. Like at least he got actor. I think he got actor.
He didn't get actor.
Oh my God.
I know. It only got best original song for I'm Gonna Love Me Again, which is a banger. It didn't get costuming, which, first of all, if you've seen Rocket Man, you know that costuming was incredible with all of Elton John's very like big and flamboyant outfits. That's a lot to do. It takes a lot of work to bedazzle an entire baseball uniform and get all these same glasses that Elton John had, and yet this is ridiculous.
Anyway, we're talking about Black Hollywood, and we're ranting about Elton John. He's a great man. He's a great man. We appreciate him in the community. Yeah, but like so many things got passed over. Hustlers, I will argue Hustlers is very much more like it's starred by minorities. A female directed it, and yet it got very much passed over. I mean, Hustlers was one of those that was like, it was really good, but I was like, I don't think it's going to get Oscars, so I wasn't worried about that. The Funeral, I know these are not Black Hollywood movies, but one in particular, actually, that I'm going to talk about is The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I personally have not watched it all the way through. I know, take away my Black card. But I personally think that movie, I think it was like somehow ineligible or something like that, and it ended up like not getting it. And the cinematography is beautiful. It definitely should have been recognized on a higher level than it should, and it wasn't.
Yeah, like Dolomite Is My Name.
That was it. Okay, yes. Okay, I can rant about that because I've seen it. So good. Such amazing content, but yet it was passed over. Eddie Murphy bodied that role, and yet he was not recognized. And he's been nominated for an Oscar. He's won an Oscar. Fun fact, Eddie Murphy has won an Oscar.
What was that one for?
I have to double check, but I'm definitely sure he won.
Because he's done so many great comedies, too, in the past. Was it Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd, Coming to America? Like, they're Coming to America and all these, and a lot of other movies. He's done, like, multiple roles in the same movie. But we don't talk about that as much as we do as, like, oh, Peter Sellers played 3 different roles in Dr. Strangelove. Like, okay, Freddie Mercury. Okay. Eddie Murphy also, like, put on, like, all these prosthetics and did makeup to look like a white man in one of the movies for, like, a couple scenes in a barber shop.
He's one of those people that disappears and comes back, and then when he comes back, it's always good.
Yeah, like with a bang.
Yeah. I'm double checking because I may have been wrong on that previous statement. Give me a second.
No, I really want to see Dolomite Is My Name.
So I definitely did lie. He was just nominated, and it was for Dreamgirls. But it was, when I looked up, the first Black movie that both, they had an actress, supporting actress, and supporting actor in categories. That year, Jennifer Hudson won for Best Supporting Actress, which she really deserved because that killed it. I remember everybody clapped in the theater after she finished her like big solo song because it was just so good and her acting in it was great. And she is also doing Aretha Franklin. She will be taking on the role of Aretha Franklin. That first trailer just came out. It was just a little teaser. But I definitely know that Aretha Franklin gave her blessing. She was like, I know the right person is playing me for this role.
Jennifer Hudson was the only good part of the Cats movie, honestly.
We can't get into that. That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Listen,
that's so...
She's the only good part of the movie. Listen to her singing Memory.
You can just listen to the soundtrack.
Just listen to Memory. That's it. Don't watch the movie. Just listen to Jennifer Hudson sing Memory. That's all you need. That's it. Don't watch anything else. Don't watch Jason Derulo almost put another cat's foot in his mouth. Just avoid it. Don't watch the movie.
All right, back to Black Hollywood.
Back to that.
Yeah, but next year is the year of musicals, and I'm excited for that. And that relates to Black Hollywood because we have two, Respect is what their Aretha Franklin biopic is going to be called, I believe. And that will be essentially a musical, all-black cast. And then, not exactly an all-black cast, but we also have In the Heights, which will be coming out, is mostly Latinx. But we do have some who are Afro-Latinx, as well as a black actor in that. So that's going to be really interesting.
In the Heights is fantastic.
It looks good.
A plotline involving a character who's Latina and a guy that she's interested in who's black, and her dad being very much weird about it because he wants his daughter to marry a Latino and not a black man. Which that's one part to that story.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, like, that's a thing in a lot of cultures and communities, too. And I think that's very interesting when it's told the white way, which In the Heights, it's also, it was actually a Broadway musical beforehand, does. So I think it's very interesting. But, yes, hopefully there will be more nominations for Black Hollywood next year. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially with they just announced all the presenters. It's going to be very interesting what people's speeches are going to be. Who was the guy that played Joker?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I know he recently came out with a speech. I don't know exactly what award show.
It was the BAFTAs, wasn't it? That was the most recent one.
Yeah, that was just like basically calling out Hollywood for systematic racism. And if he's doing that then, and he's already like favored to win lead actor, I really hope that on the stage he says something along those lines.
Should he win? Which he probably is going to.
It's on everybody's Oscars pool. It's on mine, so...
Yeah, I made a list this morning where it's just like...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't what I want. It's what I know the Academy is going to be like.
Yeah.
Which is white, Parasite for foreign feature.
Parasite's going to win foreign feature, but not best feature. There's no way. I'll be very surprised.
If it wins Best Picture, I will lose it. I'm so jazzed.
Okay, if we're going to talk Black Hollywood, we do need to talk about the Best Picture fiasco. Because I know this is very Oscars-based, but I think particularly the Oscars are a very big ceremony in Hollywood. And it's very interesting how Black people have been treated with the Oscars, especially in recent years, which is surprising. That Oscars debacle really eliminated Moonlight Shine completely, which the presenters should have known better. The Academy should have known better.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I forgot how she got the wrong envelope.
Oh, yeah, because I remember reading multiple things about was one of the people, so it's on the two different sides of the stage. They have the box, they have the briefcases, and they take turns. So it's like the girl over here will give them one, and then it's the guy's turn, and they have to prep each one, but I think it was the guy was taking pictures backstage, which you're not supposed to do.
Oh my god.
But he was for also like ballot security reasons, but he was anyway, and that's where he mixed it up. He didn't pick like the Best Picture when he still had it on Best Actress, So when they sent Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway out, it was with the Best Actress one. And Warren Beatty was like, listen, I knew something was up when I saw Emma Stone's name, but I didn't know what to do. I panicked, and I just gave it to Faye Dunaway.
Literally, I would look at the teleprompter and be like, we might have the wrong envelope. Like, I feel like that was such an easier way to have a whole, like, they still had a complete moment. Because, like, and then they, on top of that, they didn't restart the music when it happened. And been like, all right, let's take a moment. Let's cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Because we screwed up. They're like, wait, we screwed up. And then cut back to commercial. And then, like, maybe the host come out and be like, look, we made a mistake. We already informed the cast. Moonlight won, not
La La Land.
But I can't help but thank that moment for the memes that came up with it.
The reaction of the cast.
The reaction of the cast, literally every A-lister in Hollywood was a memeable face that day.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Meryl Streep's face. Oh my God.
Matt
so
Damon.
funny.
Ryan Gosling on stage just kind of like
Ryan
smirking.
Gosling was just like, I knew it.
He just... Busy Phillips, who was there, her reaction in the crowd is still her Twitter icon.
Amazing. Honestly, what an iconic... It was an iconic moment because it was so nice to see, especially a Black, like, and especially from your span, like, LGBT film that was mostly about, like, I mean, not all entirely, but mostly promoting self, like, love and stuff like that, just to be put on the screen and, like, showcases, this is the best one. You know, Barry Jenkins, fantastic director, kills it mostly every time. I believe it's If Bill Street Could Talk, should have got more than what it got, but last year, but it still got something, so I'm glad. Yeah.
Queen and Slim, I really want to see.
Queen and Slim, also a conversation on Black Twitter, but mostly like just Black in general. I remember when the first reviews of it came out and people that I like follow went to go see it and they went, oh. And I was like, uh-oh. Because like I was very excited to see it. The trailers looked great. I was excited to see like a Bonnie and Clyde like movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't like say for myself whether or not. I just know that the conversation started to shift of like, it wasn't the best. I mean, it wasn't revolutionary, which nobody thought it was going to be. I did appreciate it was a Black woman director, Black woman who wrote the script, Black actresses, like actors and actresses, like my skin tone. If you don't know what I look like in real life, I am very dark. I'm on the darker side of skin tones, so it's nice to see that, because that's a whole nother conversation of like colorism in Hollywood. And I believe it's Zendaya who said like I should not be the stereotype of what a Black woman should look like in Hollywood. And Zendaya is amazing. She can act her... Can I curse? I don't know.
You can say ass.
Okay. She can act her ass off. But she also shouldn't be the person, her and Amanda Ling, don't know her last name. She was Rue from the Hunger Games. They should not be the standard of what you see on screens with Black Hollywood, because it seems like that again and again, and it's tiring. I'm tired.
Now that I think about it, really the only time, like in my personal movie viewing experience that I have seen dark-skinned Black people is in slave movies and that like 12 Years a Slave from Lupita Nyong'o. Beautiful woman. She had to get her Oscar for playing a slave.
Us.
Us.
Another Oscar steal. It did it, okay, maybe not Best Picture. Okay. But at least screenplay.
Actress.
Lupita should have got nominated. She went through hell and back for that role. It even had to apologize for, I think she said she replicated some disease for the role.
It was one of the Kennedys had this voice thing going on, and she replicated that. I can't remember if it was a junior. I can't remember.
There's so many Kennedys, honestly.
There's too many. There's too many juniors, too, where it's like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., JFK Jr.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And it was
There's
just,
probably a Ted Kennedy Jr.
and she gave this elegant apology compared to other Hollywood actors who can't apologize for anything and have to. Why do we do notes app apologies? I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, but she definitely deserved that Oscar. Like, the Academy easily could have looked at her. Like, I'm not saying Homegirl who played Carrie it didn't do good, but I do think that they could have had more than 2 and not had Scarlett Johansson in 2 categories.
Yeah.
Even though Scarlett Johansson can play a tree very well. If you don't know what I'm referencing, Scarlett Johansson has been getting flack for essentially getting roles that she shouldn't necessarily have. Like, she tried to play a transgender woman, but backed out of the role, thank God.
Yeah. Ghost in the Shell was
Ghost
one,
in the
which
Shell,
is
yeah.
A Japanese manga and anime series, and it's like, ma'am.
She came, she did an interview because whoever Scarlett Johansson's publicist is not a good publicist. And basically was like, I should be able to play anything I want. I could play a tree. And Twitter went off with the references. My favorite is a picture of her in, I believe it's either Endgame or Infinity War, where she's just like chilling on a bench and there's a tree behind her. And somebody captioned it and was like, what was it? Wow, I can't believe Scarlett Johansson is in this shot twice.
I looked up, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has spasmodic dysphonia, which causes his voice to quaver, make speech difficult, which I'm opinion I'm going to apologize for. He's also an anti-vaxxer, so we're going to put RFK Jr. off to the side for now. Let's switch over to your docu-series.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We could talk about that.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm currently lead editor for TealTV as well, and I am currently producing a series called Living in Color. Living in Color essentially is, so basically Living in Color is a series that we're doing here at TealTV that is centered around Black student leaders and just like their experience on campus and how they necessarily just how they handle being on campus, especially if you're unaware, UNCW has a very, very low diversity rating. They cover it up by putting all the minorities into one statistic, which is something that I highlight in the series as well. I've been looking up a lot of facts for it. It's insane how little there is. Just a fun fact, a little tidbit. So we've had the largest freshman class here at UNCW last year. It's pretty eventful. Everybody's freaking out about it. It was like 2,500 something freshmen moved in, even though we didn't have the housing for them. It's fine.
Always has to happen where it's stuff like that. It's like, we don't have the housing, but welcome our largest freshman class. Like, okay, where are we going to put them?
Yeah, so out of those like 2,000 and something people, 72 of them were African American. 72.
Yeah.
So that, I would like to say that statistic does not include people who identified as multiracial or biracial. So that would add maybe like 50, 60 at best from what I looked up. So yeah, that was pretty wild to find out. The series is going to be in 4 parts. The first 3 parts will be on TealTV's IGTV. We are at UNCW TealTV. And then the last part will be the mini documentary that will be showcasing in UNCW's Lumina Theater on Thursday, February 27th at 7 p.m.
And it is free to attend.
Yes, absolutely free to attend. I think it's important, even if you are not of color, to definitely watch the series just to get a sense what it feels like. As someone who's a Black woman, I find myself in classes where I'm the only Black woman. And I have had to advocate for myself in the Black community, and we should not be the only voice that you hear about the Black community. So if even you don't come see the series, the doc itself will be up on YouTube the next day, February 28th, to mark off the end of Black History Month. But Black History Month doesn't just stop with February. Learn some Black history facts, make friends of color, but not just one fun of color, because that's tokenism. But overall, I just hope you come. If you are able to come out, please do. If you are not, that is completely fine. It'll be on YouTube the next day. I just ask you watch it. It's going to be 15, 20 minutes at best, maybe 25 if I find some more statistics. But just talking about it, I'm really excited for it.
I'm really excited for it, too, because when they said, oh, you're premiering, I was like, yes, she got her idea in. She's going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I've been talking about this series for about a year and a half now. I think I started this time last year, I was going to do it, and I was super busy. Just found out I had an RA position. By the way, I'm an RA. So I was very much so not in this place to make it. Now I am, and I have. Shout out to TealTV. The resources they have given me is wild. Studio time, advertising money. They booked Lumina, which Lumina actually costs money to book. I found that out. But they were willing to do that for me to get my message heard, and I really appreciate it. I've been also working with Upper Middle African American Culture Center, who I also like to thank, who have been extremely gracious with this whole process, been more willing to help me find students to interview. We have 3 fantastic student leaders that we have chosen to interview for this, that you'll see throughout, and they're in the poster that is online. Alex, Chris, and Mary, who I definitely thank from the bottom of my heart for doing this. Knowing 2 of them did not know me that well when we started this, and now I've gotten to know them better, and all 3 of them are very vulnerable, even when I didn't know them that well, and I very appreciate that. Said that wrong. I very much appreciate what they have done and how they're opening up. And I think they also know it's important to start this message, to start this conversation. Whew, that was a lot of words.
It's just, now you know how I feel. We never recorded with a long script because it's a very long script. A lot of them are like 8 or more pages, but I talk fast. So it just goes through really quick. I'm like, oh, I've been talking for like what seems like 5 minutes.
This is fun though. I like this.
It is a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
And I love doing it.
I like ranting about Black Hollywood. It's been entertaining.
On and off the mic, we do have a lot of discussions about that.
Literally, like, we're definitely watching the Oscars together with our other 2 friends this year. It's always a fun time watching the Oscars with them because we all complain. We're free to complain, yell, anything about what we think is best, and we all definitely feel in a place that we're like respected and stuff like that. So if you get anything, find you a group of friends that respect when you rant about anything and everything.
Yeah, that's the best thing to have. And I'm very grateful that Hollywood East has brought all of us together to have this friendship. Let's get sappy. No, briefly sappy. I am very happy to see you come this far since freshman year with everything and get your project dream realized. Yeah. And I'm so excited to see it.
Thank you.
Because I know you did a fantastic job on it.
I'm trying. The documentary, honestly, at this point, it is February the 4th, I believe. Yeah, it's not edited completely yet, and it's due in a week and a half. So, we're doing well. Also, for those who don't know, Hollywood East is a living learning community here. I don't know if you talked about it before in the podcast.
I'm not sure if I have everything, but it will no longer be at Schwartz 3rd floor. It's going to get moved to the new building.
Yeah, it's not even the one I'm moving to, which I will not say because I'm not trying to get stalked. But
which they're going to have all this nice stuff, which we didn't have freshman year, where it was very bare bones.
I mean, they were just getting started when they moved ours freshman year. They got like a huge grant. It was a great learning community. Got a lot out of it. So yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, there's a lot of stereotyping, especially that I went through my freshman year. Stereotyping, assuming things. I got asked by someone, do black people blush? I remember that was the first one that happened.
Oh my god.
And I was like, yeah. And then dealt with somebody repeatedly saying racial slurs on our floor. And
oh, I know.
I'm not going to go into that anymore, but also just having to defend. That was especially when I had to defend my race and myself. And it was a hard year, honestly. And that is also talked about in the documentary. I asked each of the people how they felt about their freshman year. And they all were like, it was terrible until I met more people of color. And, like, I think that's important to note that, like, we're bringing our freshmen into this.
So February 27th at...
Lumina Theater at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. February 27th. I have also been told with all of the Hawkstream podcasters here to plug the other podcast for cross-promotion. I believe it. I have been told to do Caffeinated Minds. I have nothing but good things to say about the podcast, but in the essence of time, I will just tell you to go and check them out. It is very fun to listen to. But until next time, this has been Talk Hollywood to Me, where I talk Hollywood to you. This has been Sierra.
And Tatyana. This has been fun.
And thank you all for tuning in. We very much appreciate it. And as always, my signing off, the first of 2020. Hail to the king, baby!